everybody. Welcome to day 5 in our Book of John study series. If this is your first time joining us, we're really glad you're here. And we'd invite you to head to our YouTube channel or our website to catch up on earlier chapters. See, we're walking through John to see what we can learn about Jesus and how this profound book of the Bible can influence our faith. And chapter 5 starts with the third of the signs in John's gospel. Something amazing and miraculous that Jesus does, which is meant to point us to something bigger and greater. See, Jesus is in Jerusalem, and there's a place called Bethesda, which has a pool. And here, the Bible says to us, here a great number of people were disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, and the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. See, this man and others waited by this pool because it was believed that when the pool bubbled up, if you were the first one to get into the water, you would be healed. Now, this pool was near the temple, and if you'll remember from earlier chapters, there were a number of rules associated with the ritual of coming to the temple. Certain ways you had to cleanse yourself or the animals that you brought with you to the temple. Only by following these certain rules could your faith be validated and grow. So think about that. For someone like this man who had physical limitations, it was impossible for him to ever follow those steps for his faith life. And you can imagine that long ago, he'd given up on having what all those people had who he saw day after day walking in and out of the temple to receive forgiveness and healing and love from God. His best bet, he figured, was relying on the powers of this pool to somehow heal him. He had a better chance of relying on a mysterious disturbance in the pool and hoping someone would show up to help him get into the pool for healing when the water bubbled. Yet, for 38 years, he laid there. And you can imagine he felt pretty hopeless by that point. So when Jesus shows up, he asks this man, "Do you want to get well?" And interestingly, the man doesn't even say yes. He explains the dilemma of the timing of not being able to get into the water. And Jesus doesn't give the man a list of questions to answer about his faith life or practices that he has. He doesn't test his knowledge of the scriptures. There's no prerequisite that Jesus wants to make sure this man has met. He simply says, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk." And at once the man is cured. He picks up his mat and walks. And right then, right there, Jesus healed him. So you can imagine the amazement that this man must have felt. And to learn more about this story in John chapter 5, we read the next part. The next day, the day that this took place was on the Sabbath. So the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath, and the law forbids you to carry your mat." See, the leaders, even though he was healed, got hung up on the fact that this man was carrying his mat. Set aside the fact that he could now, after 38 years, walk, he wasn't supposed to be doing that on the Sabbath, which was seen as a day of resting. And later in John 5, we see that these leaders, they come back to Jesus, the one who healed him on the Sabbath, and these leaders, they question Jesus' authority. The other authorities didn't have a way to reconcile their traditions, their rituals, their religious practices, the way that things had always happened and been done in their own faith lives, with the way that Jesus comes onto the scene and does things differently, offering healing on a day of rest. Our rules and rituals, they can serve us well in all parts of our life. We have good boundaries, and we have boundaries in place for good reason. They keep us safe. But what about the times when they prevent us from believing that healing or new life is even possible? When the how we do things is prioritized over the who we're doing them for. So John, I think, wants to remind us that Jesus is the main point. He is the who. Those authorities, they were obsessed with the how. So today, think about those authorities in your life. It doesn't have to be people, it could be systems or institutions. The authority that comes in the form of pressure about how you should raise your kids or what type of job you should have. The places in life where you've done certain things a certain way forever and you're not sure why. And as you read chapter 5, I invite you to think about these questions. Number 1, what authorities are keeping you stuck? And number 2, where are they blocking the work of Jesus? Thanks so much for watching the Book of John study today. We can't wait to see you for chapter 6. Have a good day.